Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are doing a deep dive into a book you might have already heard of, The Four Agreements.
Yeah, it's definitely a popular one.
It is, but we are going to be digging deep today to pull out those hidden gems, the stuff that you can actually use to make a real difference in your life.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes this book so powerful. It's not just about reading it, it's about applying it, right?
Exactly. And it's based on, this really ancient Toltec wisdom, which always adds a little bit of mystique, right? Like, ooh,
Hmm.
what secrets are we going to uncover?
Definitely. And those Toltecs knew a thing or two about living a good life.
They did, they did. Okay, so the four agreements that we're going to be breaking down today are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. We'll explore why they matter, how they connect, and most importantly, what you can actually do with them.
Sounds like a plan.
Right, so first up, be impeccable with your word. I was reading this, and Ruiz calls words magic spells, which I just love that analogy.
Oh, it's so powerful, right?
Hmm.
Because words really do have that kind of impact on us. It's like the Pygmalion effect,
Mhm.
where positive words can actually boost someone's performance.
It's incredible, isn't it? And the opposite is true, too.
Oh, absolutely. Like that old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Woods will never hurt me.
yeah, right. We all know that's not true. Words can leave lasting scars. I
Yep.
mean, just think about the real world, right? Gossip can ruin someone's reputation. A careless comment can trigger someone's deepest insecurities. But then on the flip side, a single word of encouragement, genuine encouragement, can literally inspire someone to achieve incredible things.
It's amazing. And in the book, he gives this great example about giving feedback on a presentation. Instead of just ripping it apart, you focus on the positives and you offer these like really constructive suggestions. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to give someone feedback?
Well, all the time. And it is so tricky, right? Because you want to be honest, but you also want to be helpful. And I think that's really what this agreement is about. Using your words intentionally with both clarity and kindness.
It makes so much sense. And it's not about just staying silent when there are problems, right?
No, not at all. It's about choosing words that are both truthful and indeed constructive.
Yeah.
Like, how can you phrase this in a way that is actually helpful?
Right. Because silence doesn't always help. Sometimes it just makes things worse.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, that sweet spot.
I love that. So this idea of using our words impeccably can apply to so many different areas of our lives, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? Like at work, in our relationships, even just how we talk to ourselves, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like giving feedback at work, having those tough conversations with family or friends, even those little pep talks that we give ourselves in the mirror, it all counts. It all matters.
It really does. It's like taking ownership of that energy that we're putting out into the world. Okay, now this next one, this can be a little bit challenging, right? Don't take anything personally. Let's be
Yeah.
real for a minute. It's hard not to get our feelings hurt, to not feel offended when someone seems to be coming at us
Oh,
directly.
oh, it's so hard. But the game changer here is understanding that most of the time, people's actions are way more about them than they are about you. We just get caught up in our own heads.
Easier said than done, right? So, how do we actually put this into practice? Like when someone's really being difficult or saying hurtful things?
Well, let's say you're getting some harsh criticism at work. Instead of immediately thinking, oh my God, I'm a failure, try taking a step back. Just detach a little bit from your ego. Like observe your thoughts and emotions without letting them totally control you. Because chances are your boss might be stressed
Mm.
or, have pressure from their boss.
It might not have anything to do with me at all.
Exactly. Their criticism might be coming from their own stuff, their own state of mind, not the actual quality of your work.
That is so insightful. I never thought about it that way. It's like you said, taking a step back, seeing the bigger picture.
And it's not about being a pushover. Not at all. It's about discerning right. Like, is this feedback actually valuable? Or is this just someone projecting their own issues onto me?
So true. I mean, think about a time when you took something personally. How could this agreement, this idea, have helped you handle it differently?
Hmm. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's about remembering that everyone is fighting their own battles.
Hmm.
And sometimes those battles spill over.
Yeah, and we get caught in the crossfire. This agreement really can shift our whole perspective. And speaking of shifting perspectives, that leads us perfectly to the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. I think we're all guilty of this one, right? Like jumping to conclusions when we don't have all the information.
Oh, all the time. It's like
Yeah.
our brains just love to fill in the blanks.
The book gives that great example of the unanswered text message, how we immediately spiral into, oh my God, are they mad at me?
Did I do something wrong? It's like we create this whole drama in our heads based on nothing.
Totally. But instead of stewing in that uncertainty, what if we just, asked? Like a simple, hey, haven't heard from you. Is everything okay?
Exactly. Communication is key. It's so simple, but we often overcomplicate things. Next time you feel that assumption brewing, just ask yourself, what's one question I could ask to get closer to the truth? What would actually give me some clarity?
It's about empowering ourselves to get the information we need instead of just getting lost in our own anxieties.
Absolutely, because assumptions really just create unnecessary drama, while communication builds understanding.
Love it. So ready to tackle the final agreement.
Bring it on.
Okay, this one might feel a little different, especially in our hustle culture world, right? Always do your best. It seems like we're constantly bombarded with these messages to be more productive, to achieve more, to never settle.
Yeah, it's relentless.
But this agreement takes a very different approach. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a breath of fresh air. Because best doesn't mean perfect. It's not about hitting some external marker of success. It's about aligning your effort with your current reality, recognizing that best will naturally fluctuate.
So true. One day your best might be like crushing it at work, hitting the gym, making this amazing dinner. And another day, your best might just be getting out of bed and taking a shower.
Exactly. And both are completely valid.
Right, because the book talks about a student prepping for an exam. And instead of fixating on getting an A, they focus on studying diligently, like really absorbing the material, putting in the effort that feels right for them in that moment.
It's about detaching from the outcome and focusing on the process, letting go of that need to control everything.
Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel when you let go of that pressure to be perfect?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. It's like this weight lifted off your shoulders. Because when we release that pressure, we actually create space for genuine effort and growth. We can actually be present in the moment instead of chasing some future ideal.
So think about this. What area of your life could benefit from releasing the need to be perfect and just focusing on doing your best right now? Maybe it's your work, your relationships, your creative pursuits, or even just taking care of yourself.
Powerful question. And it's fascinating how this agreement actually ties back to all the previous ones, doesn't it?
Totally. Like when we're impeccable with our words, we naturally do our best to communicate in a way that's authentic and kind.
Right. And when we don't take things personally, we can show up and do our best without that fear of judgment.
And when we ditch those assumptions, we can really focus on doing our best with the information that we actually have.
It's like they all work together. Yeah.
Right, they totally do. It creates this incredible synergy.
Absolutely. A holistic approach to living with more intention and peace.
I love that. So we've covered a lot of ground here. What are some of the key takeaways that stand out to you so far?
It really is amazing how all of these agreements build on each other, isn't it? And when you think about it, all these agreements are even more important in today's world, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's like we are just bombarded with so much information and all these opinions and expectations from every direction.
It can be so overwhelming.
It really can.
But that's where the four agreements, I think, can be really grounding.
Right.
They just give you this framework
Yeah.
to help you deal with all of that,
Right.
all that complexity,
Right.
with more clarity, with intention, and they help you stay centered in the middle of, all the craziness.
They're like a set of guiding principles.
Exactly. They really are. And when we're grounded, we're less likely to just react immediately. We don't take things so personally. We're not so caught up in making assumptions.
Right.
We can show up in the world, with more presence, with more authenticity. And speaking of authenticity, I kind of want to go back to this idea of doing your best for a sec. The book really emphasizes that your best is going to change from day to day, even from moment to moment.
Oh, that is so true. We get so caught up in this all or nothing thinking. Either I'm killing it or I'm a total failure.
It's exhausting.
It really is.
It's just self-defeating. And I think the four agreements offer a much more compassionate approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And encourages you to just recognize that, your energy levels, your motivation, your circumstances, they're all constantly changing.
Every day is different.
It's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. We're human beings. We're not robots.
Exactly. Some days you're going to be like on fire, firing on all cylinders, right?
Yep.
And other days you're just trying to like keep your head above water. And that's totally fine. The key is to meet yourself where you are without judgment.
I think that's one of the most powerful messages in the book. It's not about striving for some impossible, perfect ideal.
Right.
It's about self-awareness, self-compassion, showing up as our best selves, whatever that looks like in that moment.
I love that. What does being your best self mean to you?
Hmm, that's a great question. I think for me, it's about recognizing that true freedom comes not from controlling the outside world, but from mastering our inner world.
Mm-hmm.
When we release the need to be perfect, we stop taking things so personally. We choose open communication instead of assumptions. We open ourselves up to more joy, more peace, more authenticity. It's not about changing who we are deep down. It's about changing how we relate to ourselves and the world around us.
It's a total perspective shift.
It is. And when you shift your perspective, you transform your whole experience of life. And what's really cool is that these agreements, they don't just apply to like our personal lives, right?
No, not at all.
They impact our relationships, our work, our communities. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine a workplace where everybody was impeccable with their word?
Yeah.
Where feedback was given and received constructively, where disagreements were resolved through like open and honest communication.
Instead of all the blame and assumptions.
Yeah, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Sounds like a utopia. Do you think it's actually possible to create that kind of environment?
I know it might sound a little idealistic, but I really believe it's possible. I
Wow.
really do. I think these principles can transform any environment, whether it's a family, a team, even like a whole organization.
Mm.
And it starts with each of us,
Mm.
you know, like taking responsibility for our own thoughts, our words, our actions.
Mm.
We can't control other people, but we can control how we respond to them.
Right.
We can choose to be impeccable with our word, to not take things personally, to ask clarifying questions instead of making assumptions, and to just do our best given the circumstances that we're in.
It's about empowering ourselves to create positive change, not just in ourselves, but in the world around us as well.
Exactly. And it's not about pointing fingers.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we have the power. We get to choose our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions.
So powerful.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest thing that holds people back from actually putting these agreements into practice?
I think sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to control things on the outside, like external circumstances, instead of focusing on what we can actually control, our inner world.
Mm.
That's where the real freedom is.
So true.
And the four agreements, they could be such a powerful guide on that journey, of self-discovery and growth. They give you the tools to cultivate more self-awareness, more self-compassion, and more intention in your life. And you don't have to make like these big sweeping changes all at once, which is great.
It can feel really overwhelming when you think about changing everything.
Right. But even small changes, consistent small changes can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like if you could just focus on incorporating even one or two of these agreements into your day-to-day life, you'll start to see a ripple effect. Your relationships will get better. Your communication will get smoother. You'll just feel more grounded, more at peace.
It's like planting seeds of positive change.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. It reminds us that even these small acts of intentionality can have a big impact on our lives and the lives of the people around us.
Mhm.
And the more we practice these agreements, the more they become like second nature.
Yeah.
Less of a conscious effort.
It's like we're rewiring our brains.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when the real magic happens. When we're living these agreements effortlessly, that's when we experience true freedom and joy. So as we start wrapping up our deep dive into the four agreements, I want to leave you with a question to think about. What would your life be like if you fully embraced these principles? How would your relationships change? How would you show up differently in the world?
Such a powerful question. It's an invitation to really imagine a more empowered you, a more peaceful you, a more authentic you. And then to start taking steps, even small ones, to make that vision a reality.
Not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Choose one agreement that really resonates with you and just start there. Experiment, practice,
Yeah.
and be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Because the journey is just as important as the destination.
And you might just find a whole new level of freedom and joy along the way.
You never know.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about how these agreements can help us navigate one of the most challenging parts of being human. Conflict. Conflict. It's just something we all have to deal with, right? Whether it's with family or friends or coworkers or even just, that person who cut you off on the freeway.
It's inevitable. And so often, our first instinct is to get defensive, to point the finger. We start making assumptions about the other person's intentions.
It's like our brains go straight into fight or flight mode. We totally forget to pause and actually think things through.
Exactly. But the four agreements offer us a different way, a different approach. They invite us to approach conflict with more awareness, more compassion, and more intention.
Okay, so how does that actually work in real life? Like, let's say you're having a disagreement with a coworker. What's the first step?
Well, first, remember to be impeccable with your word. Now,
Hmm.
choose your words carefully, express your perspective clearly, but really try to avoid attacking or blaming the other person. It's not about winning or losing.
It's about focusing on the issue, not making it personal.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting because remember that second agreement. Don't take anything personally.
Right.
That coworkers' words, their actions, it's probably coming from their own place of, maybe fear, insecurity, past experiences. It's not really about you.
That's so hard to remember when you're in the middle of it, but it's so true. It just takes the sting out of things when you can remember that.
It does. It helps you create that space to actually listen and understand the other person. And that leads us right into that third agreement.
Don't make assumptions.
Yes. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask clarifying questions. Really try to see things from their perspective. Where are they coming from?
Have a conversation, not a battle.
Exactly. And then finally, remember to always do your best to find a resolution that feels authentic and true to your values.
So it's not about one person being right and the other person being wrong.
Right.
It's about finding a solution that works for everyone.
Precisely. And that's the beauty of the four agreements. They're not just about avoiding conflict. They're about using conflict as an opportunity to grow and to understand each other better.
And what I find really fascinating is that these agreements can also apply to the conflicts that we have within ourselves. We all have that inner critic, that voice that tells us we're not good enough, or not smart enough, or not worthy enough.
Oh, that inner critic can be so loud, so mean.
It can be brutal, but the four agreements give us a way to kind of tame that voice.
They do.
So how do we actually apply these agreements to those internal battles?
Well, start by being impeccable with your self-talk. Pay attention to those negative thoughts, those beliefs that are holding you back, and then challenge them. Choose to focus on your strengths instead of dwelling on what you perceive as your weaknesses.
It's about being as kind to ourselves as we would be to a good friend.
Exactly. And remember, don't take your inner critic's words personally. Those negative thoughts, they often stem from, past experiences, limiting beliefs, societal pressures. They don't define who you are.
It's about separating our identity from those thoughts and feelings, which can be really hard.
It is hard. It takes practice. And just like with external conflicts, don't make assumptions about your abilities or your limitations. Be willing to step outside your comfort zone. Challenge those limiting beliefs. Remember that you can always learn and grow.
That growth mindset is so key. It allows us to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats.
It does. It really does. And finally, always do your best to cultivate self-love, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer someone that you really care about.
Because we're all worthy of love and respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how, when we start to apply these agreements to our inner world, our outer world begins to transform as well. When we're at peace with ourselves, we naturally radiate that peace outwards. We become more patient, more compassionate, more understanding in all of our interactions.
It's like that inner work creates a ripple effect that touches everyone around us.
It does, and that's the real magic of the four agreements. They offer not just a path to personal freedom and peace, but also a blueprint for building a more harmonious and compassionate world.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the four agreements, I encourage you to revisit the book and really see how these principles can guide you on your own journey of personal growth and transformation.
Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about taking those small, intentional steps. Choose one agreement that speaks to you, practice it consistently, and just notice how your life starts to shift.
You might just be amazed at the freedom, the joy, and the peace that you discover along the way. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the four agreements. We'll see you next time.